The Apogee, and I have been neglecting it for the last couple days. I need just a couple more parts on it just to fill in a few things, and then slap some paint on it, and we can call it done. But I need to just go out and dig through some parts. But it's been cold and kind of been prolonging it. But once I add parts on it, I am going to go in and scribe a few lines, just make some panel lines, especially on the bottom and the top here. I think it'll look pretty darn slick. Eager to paint it because I want to paint it, get it done, and hang it next to my big battle star. I think it'll look the part and be like part of the fleet. So anyway, hopefully I can do more on that this upcoming week. The Enterprise C, and I basically, last I left off, I'm basically down to sensor decals and of course the registry and all that. But yesterday or day before, I had to get the top and the cell decals on. It was all one piece, and then I took Mr. Knife and I just took where it's ribbed here and just slit it, and then with Mr. Microsaw here, and I always preach, if you do decals, get you some nice soft brushes. You can get these at hobby store, you get them at craft store, and after I slit the decals, I just basically caked on Microsaw and just brushed it on until finally it conformed and it snuggled down, and we are good to go on that. So I'm down to this part, and now I want to do the sensor bands, the saucer bands around the saucer. We'll do them hopefully. I'm going to try to do them this weekend. I'm not going to do it during the week. It's model meeting night, and I don't really get much done on the day after model meeting night because there's a lot of talking and BSing in the parking lot. But anyway, more on that later. The figures. One thing I've been doing is I got assembled basically one each of all of them. And I started with this one guy. Now, these figures that I'm going to do are going to be either like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Colonial Marines, or Special Forces, modern day, whatever you float your boats. But I want to make everything pretty much standard. They're going to have basically the same head. Some of them have different heads, and weapons are pretty much going to be the same, and as the arms, just to make everything standard. So you can go to the old parts box and grab your own arms, or if you like to sculpt your own arms, either way, either can be done. So I took this one, I glued him down. I basically tacked on his arms because trying to get his weapon on there just right. And there you have it. So one thing I got to do is clean up a little bit more on him, and then shoot some primer on, and hopefully we can start painting. I like to paint some of these by the weekend, or at least start to, and show you how I paint a figure quick and dirty. Now, it's not going to be elaborate, a lot of shadows and all that. It's just going to be quick, dirty, so I can take a picture, show you what it looks like when it is assembled. So anyway, there is that, and hopefully I can get a little bit more done on the other figures as well. So anyway, more on that later this week. The new Finescale. One thing I wanted to discuss, and that reminds me, I really didn't get to a whole lot on the Apogee or the Enterprise. I was learning how to. I actually can cast with a two-part putty, and you can do it in small molds, and I've done it for little things, but I want to know, can you do it on a big kit? And it's yes, but you really couldn't mass produce. This is a Harry Potter bust that you could get from they made molds that you can make, plaster molds, and paint your own, and like a craft type gift set. And I bought it, and I casted a bunch of them out of resin, and I take these to shows to pedal off. But anyway, you can tell where some of the, I didn't get the putty on there, but anyway, that's a quick, easy fix if you really wanted to fix it. But anyway, not too bad. It shows up all detailed, and it's about as heavy as resin, so not really gaining a whole lot. But anyway, I thought that was a learning experience. You can't mass produce them because it's more time consuming. If you could actually thin the putty down and make it just a little bit fluid, it'd work out just great. But anyway, more on that later on, and we'll try to learn some new skills on that. But the new Finescale, two things here. Number one, I enjoyed the article here on how you have to stay together as a model club. You know, I know a lot of small hobby shops close down where modelers meet, you know, but some people meet at libraries, some people meet at other people's houses, you know. It's just, I think it should be, it's a fun thing to be a part of, you know, depending on what clubs you belong to, you know. It's just, you know, swapping ideas, you know, learning new tricks and everything. I enjoy it, and that's one thing that hopefully will never be, you know, a thing of the past. So hopefully, find you a good model club, and you'll have all the fun in the world. And number 2, I enjoyed that the Marauder. This gentleman here, he built it as a kid, and years gone by, you know, later on he finally gets the model that he built as a kid and built it as, you know, an adult with much improved skills. So that was, I thought, an excellent article. Really enjoyed it in the new Finescale, and that reminded me of, I got some models that I've actually tracked down that I remember building as a kid, and, you know, like the Apogee there, I remember that real well, and wanted to get that, you know, just build it like, since the skills have improved, you know, I thought it'd be a very cool model. But anyway, very great article, and I thought it was a great magazine this month in the Finescale. But anyway, that's what I've got going on today. Hopefully we can get more on the Apogee. Excellent issue of Finescale. We're trying to work on some figures, and of course decal duty continues on the Enterprise C. So that's what I got going on today, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.